This is probably the single most important piece of content that I've ever created so far. If you look back at the 50 plus written pieces on Medium, if you look back at nearly 100 YouTube videos, you see me writing about things like the deception of seeking your passion. I got it right here: hacking decision making, the vanity of confidence. I talk about all these philosophies, especially in the 48 Laws of Power videos, how to influence and influence people videos. I talk about all these life philosophies that I've kind of navigated through. And you guys I've become, in a way, a trusted source of information for a small portion of you. And that I have tremendous respect for. But you guys gotta realize, who am I to even talk about these things? All these things I talk about in my videos and my writings, who am I to talk about such things? Why should you trust me as a source of information for your life? Why? Why should you listen to anything I have to say? Maybe you shouldn't. That's the thing. Maybe you shouldn't. I need to make something very clear to the small but significant tribe that I'm cultivating at the moment, because it's very important. Let it be known, I'm telling none of you, this is how you should live your life. This is how you should reach X, Y goal. Nope. That's not me. That's not what my intentions are, and I need to make this to let you guys know that that's not the path I'm trying to go down. You gotta understand, every single piece of writing I've ever published. Now, I'm reading from a piece of writing I'm about to publish here on Medium because I've revised this probably about a dozen times. It's really important I be very accurate with what I'm trying to say. So you'll see me glancing down, and it's because I want to get it right, okay? I want to get what I'm enunciating right, very clear. Every single piece of writing I've ever published, every single YouTube video I've ever made, let's just put a blanket statement on everything I'll ever say, is just a piece of my life from my perspective, a truth of mine. By no means am I telling anybody, this is how you should live. This is how you should do it. Everything I curate or create on any platform is simply displaying my own truth, my own perspective of the world. Everything I create is like a reminder to my future self to live to my highest potential. Because, if I'm not doing it, then why should anybody else do it? If I'm not living what I'm saying, if I'm not even attempting to, then what use am I? So let it be known, I'm still a student. I'm still figuring this shit out, just like you. Just like him, just like her. Now, understand this statement is very counterintuitive to the way a lot of people like to market themselves and position themselves in our day, because it is disgusting the amount of motivational figureheads we have in our culture. Motivational figureheads, mind you, that are regurgitating content. Let me rephrase that. Motivational figureheads who are regurgitating things that they have not even lived. 22-year-old, 25-year-old, 20-year-old life coaches, business coaches, or they never even owned a business, or they never even lived what they're preaching. They're selling people, hucksters, I like to use that word, are constantly trying to sell you and him and her and everybody who will let them, who will listen, on a dream. And they're getting paid to teach you how to sell other people on that very same dream. You see the cycle? The cycle just repeats and repeats. I just can't be a part of that, and I'm making this to hold myself accountable to never be a part of that. So my point is, I don't want to tell you you can do it until I actually do it. That's the reality, and that's why maybe you shouldn't listen to me, because there's a lot of things I haven't told you. There's a lot of things you don't know about the experiences and skills I've had, I'm having, and about to have. And I'm fine with concealing my intentions, law 3 and law 4. For the moment, because that's how I like to play sometimes. That's just how I live. Because I'm not trying to really impress anybody right now. Like, even though I have a tendency, here's the thing, I have a tendency to present my ideas and my experiences and knowledge with a lot of confidence and assuredness and bravado and sometimes even arrogance, and that ego, that fine line of like balancing that ego that I have, is delicate. It's a delicate process and something I battle with and challenges me day to day. And so I get it how I can kind of sound that way. But it's because I believe in me so much. That's what it is. I just believe in me so much. Like, you guys only see so much. You should hear what I'm thinking. You just hear what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. So what I'm thinking, that self-talk is like sometimes a little too much. Some people be like, whoa, calm down. But it's all part of the challenge. But the reality is, I need to let you all know, and everybody who's gonna ever watch anything of mine, or consume anything of mine, I may not be right. I think it's easy to forget that the people we look up to, the influencers, the musicians, the artists, the entertainers, the mentors we have in our life, we look up to these people for influence, and we forget, man, that they're usually doing this shit for the first time too. Like, they're just like you. You're just like me. I'm just like you. Now, I'm not, and you're not. But we are. We're one and the same, but we're different. But I'm still very early on in this journey of mine. I haven't done most of this before. I'm still figuring it out. So I may not be right for you, or I may be perfect for you. Now, I'm not making this to convince anybody of what I've done or what I'm going to do. I could easily fall into that, but I'm not going to. My job is to prove to you and anybody else over the next 1 to 10 plus years, because that's the game I'm trying to play, over the next 1 to 10 plus years, of why not consuming me, or rather respecting what I have to offer for the time, is a mistake. It's part of my job. It's part of like a chip on your shoulder you create for yourself. But I'm only going to do that through executing, not saying I'm going to do it. There's a distinction. Doing and talking. This right here is talking and doing, considering I'm creating something from it. A lot of people are talking, and they're talking about things they've never done. And I need you guys to call me out on it. I need everybody to call me out on it if you sense it. If you see me doing it. I'm gonna do my best to hold myself accountable, but please call me out if you see it. Because the next 1 to 10 plus years, that's the game I'm trying to play. I'm not trying to be a flash in the pan. I'm not temporarily here. As long as I'm living, as long as I'm breathing, I'm trying to kill this shit. I'm trying to murder life. If life was an angel, I'd fucking kill that bitch. So to reiterate, this is the way I see the world. This is the path I'm taking to my own success. These philosophies and ideas are things I'm experimenting with and have done and experienced and have success with and failed at. But this is the path I'm displaying to you guys. I want to share my journey. I'm just going to document my journey. This is it. This is me documenting the journey, But I don't think my intentions were this pure to start with, or noble to start with, if you consider it that at all. I actually did have intentions to try and want to inspire people, influence people. And while that's still a very nice byproduct of what some of us do, like my intentions, I'm reading down here, my intentions were to see if I could help people through my experiences. But I feel like hindsight has given me the perspective and ability to step back and realize, I may have been treading the line of like this self-help motivational guru in the making, and I don't want to. Nope, that's not. I'm afraid of that. This is how you live a successful and prosperous life type of person. It's not who I want to be. I don't think it's who I am. So to shift gears one last time, when writers use the pronoun you, I use it many times in my writing. I'll say, and I'll use it in my recordings. I'll say, I'll be talking to the audience. I'll say you, and a lot of the times I used to think I was talking at the reader, to the reader, trying to impress the reader. Listen to me, reader, like hear me. Now I need to let it be known and go on record and say, when I'm saying you, I'm talking to me first. That's what I'm realizing. Like, I used to think I was talking to you guys, and I am. I still definitely am talking to an audience, but I'm talking to me first and foremost, if not more than anybody else. A lion, because I gotta stay true to the values that I preach, that I talk about, that I try and express. If I'm not trying to be the lion that I want to be, if I'm not doing lion shit, the fuck was I going with that? I'm trying to say a lion, to act like a lion. See, look, I ain't good at this shit. I'm fucking still learning. I'm fucking up. I'm just like you, man. I'm gonna keep that in there, Fuck it. A lion has to act like a lion to attract other lions. I can't be doing sheep shit, right? I have to really live what I'm saying. And I feel like if you're trying to... I feel like flashes in the pan, you see these temporary successes and we get intimidated by it oftentimes in our culture. Like, damn, I wish I had that. How did he do that so fast? Why isn't that? That should be me. Like, when we get into these dangerous situations with our minds, like I know I do, I used to, especially more, like we get envious, which is a poison. We feel these emotions of like jealousy and maybe even resentment towards this person's success. And oftentimes I see that to be some type of very shallow success they've had. You look deeper. Are they really living what they're preaching? Are they really living it? Have they really done it? Or are they doing it kind of immorally, if you will? Or are they lying to people? Are they being nice? Are they doing a good thing? Or are they as simple as like good and bad? It's like black and white, like yin and yang. Like, are they being truthful or are they lying? As simple as that. So this is why I've recently shifted into a new type of creative content called Dear Alexander. Now, what this is meant to do is to serve as like a unique creative delivery mechanism for my philosophies, for my ideas, for my perspective, without actually telling anybody how they should do it. Now, hence the title, Dear Alexander. That's me, obviously. I'm talking and writing, essentially writing memoirs to my future self, if you will. These memoirs to educate my future self and remind my present self on how to navigate the chaos of my mind's world the best I can. And as I said, this is done partly to steer clear of telling anybody how they should live. By presenting my circumstances, situation, and ideas in this manner, I feel like I'm able to avoid that lane, that direction of telling anybody how to live, telling anybody this is how you grow stronger, this is how you make money, this is how you start a business, without actually showing you how I've done it. So instead, I'm going to rephrase it, reframe it, and change the way I deliver my message a little bit, and hopefully be able to provide that on this platform and not just Medium. You know, because if I was to start telling you guys and start really speaking from this perspective, like I know it all, like I'm some type of authoritative figure on these topics, right now I just don't feel like that's fair to the game of life I'm trying to play. I feel like that's fair to you, anybody consuming me. I'm First of all, I don't think that's fair to myself. Like for my intentions, and like you can't have those intentions and then expect a certain result. Does that make sense? So it's like, okay, I got it now. It's like mapping your intentions to your actions. Like I feel like that's one of the hardest things to do, to map one's intentions to their actions, especially as someone who's young. I feel like people in their 20s struggle with that a lot. Like you have these intentions to want to do good, to want to do this, to want to do that, yet our actions don't map it. And I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of sitting up here, standing up here, and telling you this is how I want to do it, and not actually doing it. That is hard. That's something that's challenging. So, in an effort to live by these intentions I have for myself, that is why this was created. That is why new creative content will be made, such as the Dear Alexander series. And yeah, I hope whoever it touches, it can somehow provide some unique perspective or make you question some new things. Otherwise, it's just going to solidify the things that are happening in my life and the change that's happening in my life and the person I'm becoming. So, that's all I got. This is me documenting my journey. I'm still building my businesses. I'm still growing my personal brand and influence. Still building my skills. Still refining them. I think you always will be, but at least I will be. But let it be known, I'm a young student at this game. I have so much more to learn, so much more to do, and you'll only hear me talking like an expert once I am one. I don't know it all. I'll never know it all. And this is my truth. This is my journey. And I hope you can take something from it. That's all I got.